Welcome to the 50th weekly episode of Marked Out Radio. I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And we had a hell of a week this week. You know, one of the things we talked about at the end of the last episode was that we were on our way to an indie show. We were doing a lot of signings with ID talent. Before we even start talking about it, I'll just ask you this question. Did you have any inkling what we were walking into that day?
Not at all. Like, I knew it was a little bit more than an indie show with Gabe Sapolsky in the house, but I was, largely expecting an indie show with Gabe Sapolsky in the house. I was not expecting the WWE machine to be so evident and apparent at this indie show that we were going to.
So the whole thing is really a surreal thing. And once again, it speaks to my naivety when dealing with these matters and, my expectations. My whole plan for last week was, the show was it's 7 o'clock or something. And we were supposed to do signings with, Super Sean Legacy and Cappuccino Jones, around between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. So we roll up at 2 o'clock, figuring that we're just gonna, waltz in, do the signings, and go home. And my whole thinking was, yeah, I'm out of here by 3:30. That was I walked in, I drove up thinking that I was gonna be out by 3:30. And I do this every single time where we have these plans, and I'm like, I'll be there an hour, and I'm gonna go home. That is always how my brain works, and then it never works out that way. So we roll up like 2 o'clock, and right away, as soon as we pull up, we realized that we were not going like a typical before an indie show kind of thing, because right away, as soon as we will pull up, we can hear from across the parking lot ring noises.
Yeah, the ring was popping. You had Gabe was inside giving like feedback to talent because they were doing some sort of a ID tryout / clinic. So that was going on, and obviously they're a little bit protective of the notes and the feedback. It's like we were not going to be able to really do a signing inside during that.
So yeah, it was a closed set. So we pull up and we can see kind of what's going on, and we almost walked through the door of the closed set, which would have been a hoot if we had pulled that one off, but we didn't. Because they were recording everything. Everything was being, documented. And so we had to hang out until like 3 o'clock or so, if I'm not mistaken. And then pretty quickly after that, the promoter invited us inside. But of course, after the clinic, a lot of the guys had gone, dispersed, at least, for a few hours before the show. We're going to get lunch and whatnot. But we did have the good fortune to stumble across and secure a quick deal with WWE ID talent Aaron Roberts right there on the spot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because he is based out of Memphis, Tennessee, and as he said, this was his first time in New York for professional or personal reasons. So we've never had a chance to work with him before, and honestly, this was my first time even seeing him. And honestly, he's got a little bit more than I thought going for him. I think there's definitely a place in wrestling for a guy that looks like him. He's a monster.
I am high on Aaron Roberts. I really am. I was marking out like crazy for him the whole night. Everything he did was awesome.
Yeah.
I dig his gimmick as well. The kind of the convict thing he has going on with the prison shiv, the toothbrush.
He's really good. We did our ID promos with him. We don't have our usual array of prints, but next time he's up, I think there's a very good chance we'll work out a bigger deal because he's awesome, and I'd like to have my full run of prints on with him.
So we get there. We see Aaron Roberts. That's exciting. And now we're kind of like trying to set up in the corner find a spot. The building is pretty small. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know how I'm going to say it, but a large area of real estate in this building where we normally would have been able to set up a table was what they set up an ad hoc photo studio. And this is kind of one of the more interesting elements of the entire day. So this giant photo studio they set up, where they had a professional photographer there who was taking new promo shots with all of the talent, the ID talent on the show for WWE. But that's not the only thing this photographer was taking pictures of.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we were waiting to let in, I'm not sure if you remember me making this little like joking observation. We saw Gabe walking across the parking lot with a box, and I remember I looked at you and I said, "I wonder what's in the box," and I really didn't think much of it. And now, we found out, soon thereafter what was likely in that box. And they had the WWE ID men's and women's championship belts in the building for promo shots. They were taking like shots of the belt on its own, and they also took shots of every talent holding the belt, just so whoever wins, they have the promos at the ready.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Seeing kind of how the sausage was made with regard to promo shots. I mean, that's how the way he set up the studio, the way he had them posing. This was a real photographer, trying to give them notes and motivations for how to take different pictures and, different ways of holding the belt. And, I mean, one of the shots that we witnessed being taken is going to be the shot used, when the tournament ends, which was like, it's a very weird kind of surreal thing to see that go down. Not many people have seen those belts in the flesh, and we didn't even know they were going to be there, but no. They were, and it was pretty cool. So that happened, and then I would say within relative short order, Super Sean Legacy came in, and we did our signing with him. Everything looked sick. He's a super nice guy, super enthusiastic.
Yeah, he really did a great job on everything. As is our standard on a lot of these prints, we got the super inscription on the metallic, and the mats are just signature only. And I mean, his signature looks cool to begin with. Like, some signatures are cooler than others, but he has one of the cooler looking, I think, new signatures, because it's like at least it's kind of loopy and swoopy, and you can make out the letters. It's him. So that's always a good thing.
And we did our usual shtick. It was kind of chaotic in there in the building, as more and more talent started moving around. Everyone was taking pictures and everything. We did our usual shtick, asking him questions about, his career so far and how everything's been going and whatnot. And those are always interesting conversations to have. Where he got his sort of motivation from, what his childhood was like, things like that. Which was fun. So then he did his signing for us, and unfortunately, as we're sitting there, we keep getting updates that Cappuccino Jones had issues with his rental car, and so what was supposed to happen at 3:00 and everything was supposed to be like easy, he didn't get there until much later. So now we're sitting around, and it's 3:30, 4:30. And we're like, everyone is coming in. Of course, we're by this point we've worked with most of the ID talent, right? So yeah. So we've reconnected with, of course, Swipe Right came over to chat. We saw Aaron Rourke and Marcus Mathers again, and Bryce. Who else did we see again?
Sam Holloway.
We chatted with Sam. Talked to Sam a little bit.
Yeah, I busted his balls because now he has this whole new look, and now I got to do all new prints and do a whole, follow-up signing at some point.
But he's happy to report that his wife approves of the beard. So
she does, and like I said to him, her opinion means more than Gabe's. So that's a good thing.
It was definitely close, but yeah, it was pretty funny. So Sam is such a cool guy. Who else did we? I think that was all.
Jackson,
Jack Hartwheel.
Jackson. Yeah, Hartwheel.
Jack Hartwheel. Saw that Jackson Drake rolls in. Of course, he comes over. We're going to be seeing a lot of Jackson.
Mark came in
the near future. Yes, and so we saw all the guys who we've worked with so far. And that was cool. And so it's kind of waiting for things to get going, and then so something really, 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 really kind of weird happened at 5:00. Because at this point we're expecting to be finished, but we really haven't even started our second signing. And so now we're in the room, and it's just us, the promoters, and the talent. And so at this point, this is really wild, but they call a talent meeting, an all hands meeting, and they don't ask us to leave. So we just stay there while they have their all hands talent meeting, where they go over certain production notes related to WWE ID. They go over all of the finishes. They go over a lot of like where they see the storylines progressing and how they want people to kind of sell various aspects of the story. Now, let's just be honest with me. When you're sitting there listening to this and watching this, what's going through your head?
It seemed completely surreal. Like, we've been in the room with like indie show, like the guys go in the ring, they work through certain spots, like it's cool to see, but like we've seen it before, so it's kind of like like you're used to it. But this was not like the NYWC meeting. This was the WWE ID meeting with Gabe Sapolsky running through like WWE notes and different like points of emphasis, and it was completely surreal. It just like that's what we always say. Like, obviously, to do this, we're not in this for the fortune. We're in this for the whole conglomeration that we've gotten into. So as fans of this stuff, it's cool to see something like that. Like me as a kid would have been going crazy being in an event like that.
Yeah, it was really weird. There's no other way to say it, and especially since I'm not going to lie, while we were watching the show later on in the evening, all I was looking for were the notes that Gabe had said, because he had told the talent to do certain things, to try particular things, and act a certain way, and I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff. We're going to keep that private, but all I was doing when I was watching the matches was looking for the stuff and seeing how well they did it, and then of course in my head evaluating which ones did it better than others, and that's like such a that to me, as someone who has been a wrestling fan since I was 4 years old, we're talking from the past 40 plus years, to sit there and kind of see that aspect of it that I've never experienced before was a true highlight. It was so much fun, and it was really fun to see. Now, again, we're not pretending to be friends with any of these people, but some of them we know decently now. We kind of know Jackson, we kind of know Swipe Right a little bit. We've talked to them for hours at this point. And there's a certain I have a certain fondness for them. I'm rooting for them. I want to see them do well, not only for my own selfish reasons, but also because they're likable kids, for lack of a better word. I really like Bryce Donovan. I really like Sam Holloway. They're just nice people. And they're fun people. I had them at my house, and so it's like I'm rooting for them. And so like to see them receive positive feedback, or to see them like try to advance their careers meaningfully right in front of my face, it's just such a cool thing. I'm happy to get that experience. It's very hard to replicate that kind of experience. It was really, really a cool night overall.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you were ready to get out of there quickly. You kind of swayed me a little bit. I'm like, if we're done by 3:30, am I going to kill 3.5 hours? Knowing how busy these guys would be, it's not even like you could just sit around and bullshit for 3 hours with the guys. Like, they're busy. It's like, what the hell was I really going to do? But I'm glad that it worked out that like so late that we stayed for the show. And I didn't want to just assume that we were going to stay for the show. I mean, we didn't buy a ticket, but the promoter like insisted. He's like, absolutely, get a great seat, stay for the show. So we stayed for the show, and it was a great night. It really was. The action was good. The talent was good. The signings were good. Afterwards,
look, you jumped ahead. We didn't do Cap yet.
Oh yes. So fine.
So finally, Cap rolls in. I think Cap was driving with Cartwheel and one other guy. I forget who. It was such a mishmash of a long day. But anyway, so everyone who wrestles in New York has to get cleared by the New York State Athletic Commission doctor. So that was a whole thing. So like Cap was trying to do his signing with us while getting checked out by the doctor, while doing his photos, his promo shots for WWE ID, and like Cap was signing for us. And I was like, Cap, go get a pump, go bulk up before you take your pictures. Like, you don't sacrifice the quality of your pictures to sign for us. That being said, and this was something that we were definitely debating and talking about that day. What do you think about Cap's signature?
Let's see. I mean, I don't even know. It's like a sketch, I guess. It's a steaming coffee cup, which I mean, I've certainly never gotten one of those before from a talent. If you would have done some sort of a squiggly CJ, I mean, I think this is cooler than that. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but like the more I see it and like how it looks on that multi-sign piece, I actually kind of like it.
I'm kind of with you the same way. I that when he was doing it, when he first started signing, he signed the first few, and I'm like, wait, that's it? That's
I actually felt bad for him when you said that.
No, because it was strange. He just drew a cup of coffee with two little steam, waves above it, and I was like, "What? What?
You didn't pull. You didn't pull the print. You just look at it. And you're like, aren't you going to sign it? Is that it?
Yeah, it was the whole thing, because how like Billy Starks, she does a little drawing and then she signs. So I thought it was going to be like that, where he drew something and then signed it, but no, he just drew the cup of coffee, and there was this moment we all kind of looked at each other, and I'm like, whatever. This is his thing. My one fear is that the guy gets signed and then has to change his name, and we have all these prints with just cups of coffee drawn on them with no name. But I mean, we'll cross that bridge.
I mean, I think there's definitely a niche out there for that. I mean, who wouldn't want Ron Simmons' autograph that he signed with, by drawing a hot dog or something? Like, I'm sure someone out there would want it. So
it was just such a weird thing, such a funny thing. But yeah, then we did Cap, and then that was it. Then we were done. Interestingly, that show at NYWC, that's the indie. They have kind of a high end food truck out there as their food. So it's not like they're not selling hot dogs out of what shows were we? Oh, like some of the shows you go and there's like a hot dog you buy for $7. This was like a pretty high end food truck. So I was pretty happy and impressed with that. It's during the show, and this is something that's so interesting to me. During the show, some of these guys are so good at working the gimmick table, and some of them are so bad at working the gimmick table, and it's super frustrating, because like you see a real pros like Marcus Mathers and Sean Legacy. Every spare second that they weren't wrestling, they were working that gimmick table.
Yeah, and honestly, selfishly, since now I'm not like when I was the fan coming to these shows, like this would have driven me crazy. Like where's Jackson? Where's Brad? Why aren't they at the gimmick table? Now that we are like charging for them, like that's great. Like never touch a gimmick table. Just only touch our gimmick table when we bring you out. And on that level, it's good. But yeah, it's fascinating to see like how the different personalities and the different talents, how they sort of handle the that whole process. At the show, I think the only ones that really, Legacy and Mark did it really well, and they were very active with it. Cartwheel's active. He's out there. He has his little 8x10s. He has his money pouch. He's ready to rock and roll. Big Sam came out at the end of the night.
So did Ice and Aaron.
Yeah, but the vast majority of these dudes, they don't do a damn thing. They don't bother. So
yeah, I mean that's it. Look, I understand it, and there's some of it is definitely like a living the gimmick kind of thing, Watching Brad work the fans over as the night was over was absolutely hilarious. He stays in character after the show, so people come up to him and they ask him for things, and it's I don't want to say like MJF like because it's different, how he does it, but basically he has no gimmick table. If they come up to him, he gives them a price, and if they hesitate, he makes them feel embarrassed about hesitating. How about that?
Yeah. Honestly, I think he's a little better at it than MJF. Like, MJF is amazing at just being immersed in this character, but like we've always talked about, I think this has been your point, where there should always be a little bit of a wink and like a smile to it. And MJF will just toss your stuff across the room. Brad, he wasn't like mean to anyone, but like he definitely is the character when he's interacting with these people. And listen, at one point I went up to Brad, like no fans around, just asking him, I'm like, at the end of the night, can we get a video for the WrestleCon? And he hundoed me. So I mean, his character and himself are not that far apart. That's why he's so good at it. But seeing him with the fans was hilarious. Like the one old guy comes up to him. It it was like a pushy kind of ask, like, let me take a picture with you. And Brad's just like, that'll be whatever the total was. And the guy hesitates, and then he's like, "Oh, you don't want to pay it?" And said something. I forget exactly what he said.
He goes, "I'm not worth that amount to you," is what he said.
Yeah.
Which made me crack up. It really did. But there, honestly, again, Brad and Ricky they cut a swipe right promo for us after the show. This is pretty funny. So then we get Jackson Drake to cut a promo for us after the show about his appearance at WrestleCon, and it was flagged. It was flagged by TikTok first for AI and then for nudity.
Yeah, TikTok didn't like Jackson's nipples. Apparently, they were very upset by the nipples. I think they thought he was a female, which is I don't really understand. But that was like the whole thing. I don't even know if it ended up making. I gotta check our feed. Was it finally overturned? The second appeal?
Jackson reminds. The problem is Jackson's
fine now. Yeah,
Jackson very much his vibe. He reminds me of like a young kid. Like he's like a Dennis the Menace type. Like his hair is all messed up. He doesn't care. And so like Jackson, like all these other people, when they left the show, they like got dressed. They changed from their gear to their clothes. Like Jackson threw on a pair of shorts and just put his backpack on and jumped in the back of a car. Like he wasn't even dressed. So he cut a promo and he's like, there's no shirt. He's a backpack. And so it was just funny how TikTok deemed that to be nudity. It was actually funny because he asked. I'm not going to reveal exactly what I said to him, but he asked what we wanted him to say in the promo, and I definitely said something that he did not expect me to say. So he kind of cracked up, and he got like flustered for a second, and then he did a variation of that, which ended up being very funny and exactly what we actually wanted. And so to bring a little humor to it. So those guys are great. Legacy gave us a cool promo that should have gone up to social media already. So these guys, I really hope they do well at WrestleCon. I mean, I think they're going to do well. When you look, Brad won that belt. Interestingly, there was a conversation, and I want to just be very transparent. Jackson. So I said no.
He said Brad.
Oh, my bad. Jackson won the belt, and so Jackson didn't have the belt. He didn't have the Evolve belt at this show. And in fact, one of the key storylines for Jackson over the course of the night was that he didn't want to honor the town he was in with the presence of the belt. The belt would be sullied by bringing it to this town. That was the kind of classic heel shtick. But I did speak to Jackson. I'm like, do we have the belt at WrestleCon or what's happening? And he said, I will do my best to get it there. So we can't confirm, but he actively said that he asked. He already made the request. So we're going to see, how that goes. And hopefully we have that information before that day.
Yeah, we will text him several times between now and then just to sort of check on the status of it. Because honestly, and believe me, I want to be able to say we had a WWE active title belt at our table. Like that is a little Snapple fact for our company that I want. So I'll do everything I can. Truly.
And, look, it's also, could you imagine if the ID tournament is over before then as well? And we potentially have a second title holder at the table. Craziness. The possibility is crazy.
I mean, listen, Brad's looking pretty good in the ID tournament standings. So
I was gonna say, my pick, my prediction is that either Brad or Legacy gets that belt, and I'm leaning I'm leaning in one direction pretty hard for that.
And so, I don't want to speak for something that hasn't happened yet, but like the whole point of that belt is to tour. Like that's what that belt is for, to tour it around to the different indies. So that belt, I can't imagine, wouldn't be able to be at our table because what the hell else would it be doing? It's
right. I think the Evolve one is at the Performance Center for now. Yeah. So hopefully,
bigger. Yeah.
So do you have anything else to add from that show? It was we ended up getting so after the show was over, we ended up doing mini signings, not full runs, but mini signings with Bryce Donovan, Ice Williams, It's Gall. Who else?
That was it. We Zara we weren't able to get done. She's actually just full transparency. I tried to reach out to her a couple different ways. I could have texted one of the guys we already know and done it that way, but I didn't. And we weren't able to work something out. And then she had her Uber was waiting, and we weren't able to get that done either. So we have printed promo shots of her, just they're not done.
Yes,
Sometime down the line.
just full disclosure, they were trying to get Freedom Ramsey, and it turns out Freedom Ramsey was removed from the ID program.
Yeah.
And I somehow missed that on social media. It was reported a few weeks ago that he was removed. The details and the reasons are not public, but it wasn't like he quit. Like, he was removed from it. And that was reported by Fightful, and then he had done some kind of post about it on Instagram, I think, where he just said, yeah, it happened, and he's not going to say why.
So we have those printed as well, and you know,
and we tried for Jordan Oasis, but we somehow in the ruckus of getting everything else done, he just escaped.
Yeah,
and we didn't get him.
So those are not done. I'm happy with what we did get done, and I'm purposely not posting any of this until it's complete. But let's really, really quickly, before we wrap this up, let's speak on the reaction that the Vanity Project dudes had for the Vanity Project pieces that we're putting together.
So I grabbed Bryce Donovan, and I'm like, can you sign a couple, whatever. I worked out a little thing with him, and I'm like, just go check this out. And then when he saw the Vanity Project thing, he went nuts. He went freaking nuts. And then he ran and grabbed Brad and Ricky to come over and check it out.
Yeah, Brad wanted one, so he's like, I'll buy one. I'm like, Brad, you don't have to buy one. Like, we'll give you one. But he loved it. Jackson's jaw literally hit the ground when he saw it. Like, his jaw dropped when he saw that. And it's sick. It really is sick. Of course, there's only two that are like ours. We have the special two because we're mental patients.
Yes. Zeta didn't see it, but Zeta, I have to say, Zeta's funny, man. The minute the bell rang for that last match, Zeta had her suitcase and was out the door. She flew out of there. And I guess, not for nothing, but a girl who looks like Zeta probably gets a lot of, attention that I imagine is stressful and frustrating. So she booked out of there as soon as the card ended. So we never got a chance to show her, but we'll show her at PWJ in July.
Yeah, a few weeks at this point.
I know. Anything else from NYWC?
I don't think so. It was honestly just a night that was really, really cool, as we said, and I still have to put up a lot more of the products. Stay tuned to the Facebook, the eBay, the homepage, all that good stuff, because we got some stuff coming.
Do you have a standout for the night?
In-ring wise or with our dealings?
Anything.
Let's talk in-ring really quick. The Jordan Oasis Bryce Donovan match was light years ahead of what I thought it would be. I'm not familiar with Jordan Oasis. I know Bryce is good, but that match was sick. As we told Bryce after the show, that was really, really sick. I mean, every Marcus Mathers match is sick. That was sick. And Jackson and Aaron Rourke were off the hook. Absolutely off the hook. Jackson does everything well. And yeah, Aaron Rourke honestly is just so good at what he does. His new look is awesome. I thought, I was entertained throughout. You didn't even fall asleep.
Isn't that funny? I did not fall asleep.
And
it's true. I joked with the guy. It was like a stranger sitting next to me. He was a nice kid, but I was like, yo, if I don't even freak out if I fall asleep, because a very good chance I will.
And I was teasing you at the start of the show. I'm like, the guys that we know well are going to look out and see you in the second row, snoring during that match. I was actually a little, luckily all the guys we know there are very, if anything, that they would have made fun of you about it. They wouldn't have been offended, but
yeah, for me,
sleep, so.
No, I did not. I truly didn't. For me, I thought Bryce Donovan 100% stole the show with Jordan Oasis. That match was brutal. It was brutal. In all the right ways. Just really hard hitting, really thoughtful, really you're on the edge of your seat. I was on the edge of my seat rooting for Jordan Oasis. I've never seen the guy before in my life.
Bryce is a star. The little things he does with taunts and different things that a lot of people, there's people on TV that don't have at those finer points down of what a heel should be doing. He is excellent.
Truly great. And the main event was great. Aaron and Jackson. Yeah. Let's put it this way. It was so brutal and so hard hitting. The crowd was chanting "Evil Gay" to try to rally Aaron Rourke.
No, that was really, really, it's a great show, great night. Everything was great. Thank you to the NYWC crew and team for their hospitality.
It was so much fun. Yeah, I mean that's I think they have another show coming up in July. I got a flyer for it. They're a great bunch of people, honestly, and strongly recommend checking it out in Deer Park, New York. Okay, so I mean, other people did stuff this week besides us. We got a whole bunch of reports. I mean, we're getting more reports now than we've ever gotten, and they're all like, I'm having a weird thing where I'm starting to get a little bit of FOMO from seeing these reports. You know, I'm seeing these people doing these really cool things. I'm sitting at home or whatever, and I guess I'll take the first one and you'll go. So Brett Pasternak sent this really cool. We talked about the Dolph Lundgren liquor signings last week, but he sent a really cool detailed report. And honestly, his report showed that that the Dolph stuff was even better than we thought it was last time. Right? He brought it. He said he bought a bottle, and Dolph was sitting there signing whatever you had. He got 3 things done, and Dolph even had extra 8x10s at his table for free for people who didn't bring their own items, which I find remarkable. But then when he realized how free and open and willing Dolph was, he went to his car, found a 4th item, got another bottle, went back in, got it done. Dolph was doing pen swaps and quotes and standing photos and anything you could want. Was happy and chatting and having a great time. You really those types of events are so rare that you really feel good about it when you see them.
Yeah. I mean, I actually feel bad about it when I see them because I wasn't there. And I knew about it. I have the photo op with Dolph already, and I figured that's all it would really be. So I'm like, why am I going to schlep into the city, stand online just to get a second photo? I mean, I'm not above doing that because I've done that and continue to do that quite often. But with how much I have going on, I think I had something else going that day. I forget which day it was, but I had some conflict. So I'm like, not going to do it. And had I known that I could have printed 11x17s and had gloves and different things, I mean, unquestionably, I would have done it. But what can you do? Brett Pasternak absolutely cleaned up. He's not the only one. Like Josh last week we talked about. I'm sure there's a ton of other people that we aren't talking about that had similar successes. That's one of those events for the ages that you were going to talk about, that you will brag to people on lines 10 years from now about, remember when Dolph Lundgren did this, this, and this, and it's nuts. It's a perfect storm, and when you are a part of it, like when we had Triple H up at that Costco or whatever, like when it's something like that, you're just happy to be a part of it, and I wish we were.
Stone Cold Steve Austin and FYE, the same kind of thing. Yep.
All right, our next report, we had Rockin' with Dan and the little rat Zach Linder. They were both at NostalgiaCon, and we're going to sort of combine a lot of what they hit. We had a Drake and Josh reunion, and that's one of those Nickelodeon properties that kind of I was a little too old for. So I know about it. I just don't have any feelings for it. I never watched it. I don't believe. I just, I know it. That's really cool. 1987 the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reunion. That's awesome. I love all those voice actors. He got a.
I think with the Drake and Josh reunion, this was Josh Peck's first ever con. So this was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Drake Bell has been doing meet and greets, and Drake Bell has done other cons. But Drake and Josh, obviously, they kind of were catapulted back into the news. People had forgotten about them for years. They were catapulted back into the news with that documentary series, right, focused around Drake Bell and all his traumas and whatnot, and how how his career was derailed and how he was abused. And that in a way that the emergence of that documentary then caused kind of or at least was the impetus for a reconciliation between Drake and Josh, because they had kind of split and went their separate ways, due to complex reasons, I think. And then, I'm really happy. I obviously, if you're too old for this, I'm way too old for this. So I don't really know these people. I don't really know these properties, but having read a little bit about the story, I'm really happy for Drake Bell now that, he's receiving support from these people who in the past, they were children too. They really didn't know how to support him or what exactly to do. And now as an adult, he is receiving support. Now, hopefully he can start making some money with these cons. And it looks like he did pretty well. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, for sure. But yes, the what I popped for from Dan's report was the Turtles group up. And I absolutely love all those guys, like I said. And that was a sick And then on the Zach Linder side of things, he finally got Alan Oppenheimer. And it was apparently Oppenheimer had a little bit of energy to him, and Zach's Posca pen was suffering a little bit, and apparently Oppenheimer made a dirty joke involving I'm not going to make you work and bleep anything, so I'm not going to say it. Go read the report. But he thought the pen needed a little pick me up.
Yeah, well, he's going to perform some kind of act on the pen.
Yes.
So yeah.
We also had a William Daniels, who I think at this point is around 113 years old. That this guy, bless him, but he's still traveling around. Every time I see him at one of these cons or signings, he looks like he wants to kill somebody. He never looks happy, but he comes a lot, and he does his thing. Zach got that full quote, which I'm not going to even try to remember and repeat, because I'll definitely butcher it. But that quote he's known for, he got that done on his photo op. It's really sick. He also got Kevin Eastman on one of those new like NECA turtle figures there's so much new turtle figures. I have a stack right on my shelf now that I got to get signed from the last time I saw them. There's so much stuff that's just awesome. And then he saw Dante Basco, good old Rufio from Hook. So as usual, a great report from Zach Linder, who's up around, I think, 12,000 hits right now. So, I mean, listen, Zach's going platinum on a weekly basis. If you want to try to get those viral numbers like Zach and Vinny and the other guys do, I mean, give it a shot, post your report. We love all the engagement. And as always, rocking with Dan, always great to hear from Rock, and he gets some great stuff done.
Yeah, well, Dan got Dan got the Ninja Turtles thing, I think.
Yeah, that's what jumped out at me. I mean, we'd be here for 4 hours if we talked about everything cool in all these reports. We got to pick and choose. Yep.
So, Sean and Finn, they went to Money in the Bank, and also they went to AAA when Worlds Collide before. They posted a pretty sick photo op with Hijo del Vikingo and Ray Phoenix. Of course, what makes that op special is the AAA belt is in that op. Anytime you can have an op with a belt, it's just a cool thing. There's no other way to say it. It's super cool. And they did say that the little pop-up shop for the event was not great, but yeah, you can't win them all. But the actual show and the actual experience were a lot of fun.
Absolutely, definitely some awesome stuff from that. And we had then the Hollywood show featuring Marielle Hemingway, Robert Wool, original SNL cast, Lorraine Newman, and Garrett Morris. And apparently, Garrett Morris's line was pretty damn big.
I think that was Zach hit that one also.
Yeah.
There were so many people there. I kind of just picked and chose which ones. I wish Robert Wool would do a con on the East Coast. I think he did Chiller once or twice, but it's been a while. He's in so many things that
I'd like Garrett. I'd like Garrett Morris from the Jamie Foxx show.
So, but anyway, those people. I get people who are older. It's harder to get them to travel, but that's one of these days. One of these days, the Hollywood show will get me. I just don't know what they'd have to do for that, but
maybe the ghost of Olivia Hussey.
Listen, I'm done. Anyway. Vinny had a cool hit. He got Darren Aronofsky at the Tribeca Film Festival. I got him to sign his poster from The Wrestler. That's Darren's pretty good on the street typically, but it's always nice to have the opportunity to get someone on a full size, because getting someone on I've done it. Getting someone on a full size poster in the street is one of the most stressful things you can do.
Was that a full size? I didn't realize that was a full size when I saw it.
I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was a full size, unless I completely. Now you're gonna make me search for it, but
no, I'm sure you're right. But in any case, he spanked it. A nice graph, as usual. Vinny is not trusting a dead marker that the guy's running the line with. Vinny always gets the pen swaps. It always looks immaculate, and it's very cool. If somehow someone is able to get Rourke out, which I don't expect to happen, because the guy that would have done it didn't do it, because for good reason, because the guy's out of his mind.
It's not a full size. It looks like he actually has. There's nothing to scale, so I'm not sure how big it is. I really thought it was a full size, but
I know Vinny's big with 8x10. It might be an 8x10.
It's just that's not to scale, so I can't really tell.
Yeah, but it's still, I don't care if it's a postage stamp. It still looks awesome. So great job, Vinny. And we got Martin. He is down. He is in Chile all the time, running around, hitting people up. And he got the Megadeth guitarist Marty Friedman. And listen, I know I can't name a song, but I do know Megadeth. And I mean, Marty Friedman's hair. Like if you see that guy with that hair walking down the street, you just know he's in one of those types of bands. Like regular people don't have hair like that. So that's awesome. But yes, Martin is always doing great stuff. So
we got an email, another email. Oh no, so this was a post. He had emailed us previously about something else. We got a post from David Schnatz. He met comedians Doug Stanhope and Andy Andrus. Doug Stanhope, I haven't seen in a minute, but I know that he was kind of big for a while. He was orbiting like the Howard Stern universe type people. Really, really, really funny stand up. Really, really funny guy. You ran photo with Friday again. I waited until the last second to participate because Facebook is so annoying, but I did participate.
Luckily, I scheduled the post because I completely forgot, and all of a sudden I saw like alerts on my Facebook app. Like, what the hell is this? Like, what I've been doing, I schedule these. Like, I already scheduled next week's for that, and I'll forget. I'm at work. I'm dealing with kids, and I don't remember. So that was awesome. I'm really loving it. Two of the highlights that we will pull out for this week is Matthew Balk, who actually designed the Smoking Skull belt, which I know, depending, like, if you're in the Major Pod group, you've probably heard this story before, but he's like, he did the artwork for that title belt. I think he did a couple other ones, like ECW belts and some different titles as well, but that's like his crowning achievement. And he got a photo with Austin and himself holding the Smoking Skull belt prior to last year's WrestleMania, which is absolutely awesome. And
can I be honest? That's not awesome. That's completely insane. That's an insane story. Like I have never heard this story before, and so I just happened to be scrolling through and I saw the picture and I read the story and I'm like, that's how many people can say that? You know what I mean?
Matthew Ball.
One. You know, it's a crazy thing. It's really I was so like blown away by it. It was super cool.
Oh, yes. And then Jabroni Josh with Kelly Clarkson, one of Ira Nobler's favorites. He went to some early concert of hers, and she like pulled him up on stage, and he has a selfie with her on stage, which sort of brings back memories of when JJ from the board got on the stage with Gwen Stefani. Like,
he wasn't on the stage. She leaned back. He was on the floor holding the sign. Remember?
Yeah. I mean,
it was so incredible.
Anytime you're getting ops by the stage is just sick. So Josh with a killer one from Kelly Clarkson. If you are listening or scrolling or whatever, I don't care if it's a big shot, if you think it doesn't hold up to some of the other photos, share what you got. It's all cool. It's just it's fun. I love how every week we seem to get more replies on Photo with Friday. So just keep it coming. Keep sharing. We love seeing them.
This is the kind of thing that makes the community the community.
Yeah.
Right? People sharing their stuff, their experiences. Who cares if it was 20, 30 years ago? I mean, you posted a picture from 30 years ago, right?
Don't make me feel that old, but yes, it was. Jesus.
I mean, I felt old because mine was like 13 or 14 years ago. I dug my photo with the Foley family out of the mothballs because it's the most ridiculous story ever. So anyway, yeah. So I dusted that one off for now the question is going to be like, how are you going to keep upping the ante, for future ones?
Yeah, it's tough. And we also received an email from David K. And he said how this podcast entered his algorithm sort of by chance. And it's exactly in his wheelhouse, and he plans on continuing to listen. So thank you for that, David. He was also extremely interested in more info about Michael Richards. And we reached out to him privately. And as we told him privately that luckily Mr. Richards or Mr. Kramer's representation is an active member of our group. So something tells me that when news is ready to break, it'll break here, soon thereafter, and we will cover it on this show. So once there's Kramer news to discuss, we will discuss it. So keep your ears hooked onto our show. And our and your eyes onto our group. And he lives in the Pittsburgh area, and he shared our sentiments that Steel City is not really clicking on all cylinders right now, which is kind
and
of
it keeps getting worse. I mean,
talk about a perfect segue into our next bit of news.
Your exact text to me this morning was, "This is the Hindenburg," which is it's so appropriately dramatic for this. What amounts to not a big deal, but so why are you in such despair about the Steel City announcements?
Listen. I feel like I should be making these comments on Marked Out and like directing them towards like Terrence or someone just to like feel like I used to. How could you book Roddy Piper again? Like it's this insane whining. But I'm very upset that they added Mike Tyson, we already have our deal with Mike Tyson for big events, so this doesn't help us. They also this week completed, and I'm doing air quotes for those of you that aren't sitting in my office right now watching me. They completed their Full House reunion. I sure hope they completed it. And they got Scott Winger, they got Kimmy Gibbler, they got Candace Cameron, they got Dave Coulier, and I actually need Kimmy Gibbler, so I suppose I'll get.
I love how you use everyone else's real names, but you use her character name. It's funny.
Well, listen, if I played the part of Kimmy Gibbler, I'm changing my name legally to Kimmy Gibbler. Like, forget it. No one's calling you anything
Screech,
else.
Right? Yeah.
And they also added John Bernthal, who was also added to another con, which we'll talk about next. And now my fear is that you have Cox and you have Ritter and you have Coulter, and they drop a whole Defenders reunion. Which, I mean, if that's your bag and you're into that to that level, awesome for you, but I don't want that. I'm not going to spend $400 or $300 on that op.
It's just not really, and it's not relevant anymore. It's just not relevant.
So if Steel City would go in that direction, that would be more big spots off the board. And at this point, we locked in. I just want a couple more that I really feel like that's cool. Like to go all that way for I'm not even going to count Smart because I don't care that much about Smart. But for me to all the way, this whole rigmarole for the kids from Jurassic Park, I'll do it because I'll start a project and I'll see, I'm sure, Goldblum again, and it'll be something I'll be happy I did down the line. But come on, I don't want to go just for that. There's got to be more. I'm just, give me a Charlie Sheen, give me something. Come on, Steel City.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, especially when you see a name like Tyson, it's a nightmare because we know Tyson occupies a lot of space. He's a draw. So it takes away a big name spot, not a small name spot.
No, when you've done a show and you look at the shows the way we do, we try to be a little analytical, you can kind of see when they announce a name, you're like, all right, he's going to be over there. He's going to be over there. She'll be over there. And you start realizing oh shit, half of these spots are gone. There's little spots, but when you're looking for a big heavy hitter type, like an Emilio or a Charlie or something like that, it's not, you start running out of room. So I just hope they start getting hits for us, a nice little run after this. Let Tyson be the last one that we don't want.
I hope so. I really do. Yeah, I made a noise when you said John Bernthal too, just because John Bernthal was also added to RICC, to Rhode Island. Yeah, and so John Bernthal, he's done a million cons. He's not really relevant right now. He hasn't been in a minute. I'm not happy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know you and I are different here. I have a handful I need from Rhode Island, so I don't need a ton. Honestly, if it's not that stacked, I don't spend several $1,000s, so that might be a good thing. But I mean, I want more cool stuff at Rhode Island, so I don't want the Defenders up there. Rhode Island also added Tyler Posey from Teen Wolf. I never watched Teen Wolf, which is kind of funny because I watched all those other.
But again, someone who's not relevant now anymore at all.
Yeah, he's not relevant at all.
I think he was Tyler Posey. I think he was doing an OnlyFans with his wife or something. He's totally not relevant. He's not really doing anything.
And a husband-wife OnlyFans. I never heard of that. That's kind of.
I believe I read that somewhere.
I'm going to convince my wife that we're going to start an OnlyFans together just to fund conventions.
I mean, that's a terrible thought, honestly.
I think I'd do the opposite of funding conventions. I think it would probably cost me more money than I'd make. Anyway, don't worry, guys. No OnlyFans. Chevy Chase was added to Rhode Island, and they will be doing a Fletch group op with Gina Davis. And listen, I like Fletch as much as the next guy. Probably more than you. So, I mean, more than the next guy, since you are the next guy here. But I don't like it that much where I'm going to get a group op. So I'll just get my solo op with Gina Davis and be done with it. This probably also means Gina Davis is not doing a Beetlejuice op because she's already doing Thelma and Louise with Susan. And now she's doing Fletch. I think that's probably it. And the question I asked myself is, do I have more for Chevy Chase? I think people on this show should know by now that he's one of those guys that I'm like a black hole for. But I think I'm good. I have all the full sides done. I have all the vacation stuff done. I think I'm done. I mean, stay tuned. I'll probably find something, but I think
You'll
as of
find
now,
a way.
I'm done. Probably.
You'll find a way. Yeah, I mean, I'm done with Chevy. I'm done completely. Now it's with some of these guys. You're like, you see them announcing that they're headliners. They're going to draw, but you just go, oh man, they're wasting space for me. I don't need them at all. That's where I'm at with Chevy. So, yeah, like we already mentioned.
Old Beverly is not going to be far behind. So
right, that's the problem when they book Chevy. He doesn't come alone. So last week we talked about that Eternal Con is back on Long Island at Hofstra. Really, it's turned into basically a Sopranos Con, which I'm not opposed to. They added Artie Bucco and his wife from The Sopranos. So those are names that have been around, but still to have all these Sopranos in one spot. Would you do if they offer a group op with all of them? Would you do it?
I'd have to look. I would have to really weigh and consider like the assortment of people that I'm looking at here. I know for you, I think this most recent rewatch is actually lighting a little bit of a fire under you because you passed on a lot of these names over the years under the thinking how you never had Gandolfini and you never will. And you also didn't have little Stevie, you didn't have Edie, you didn't have a lot of them. So you were like, why bother?
The big players I didn't have. But you know what? I got Meadow and AJ. I also I got Janice, I got Junior. I got
you got Junior? I forgot about that. That's
I got Big Puss.
You got Paulie.
I got Paulie. So I do have a pretty good, I would like Johnny Sack to come around here.
You just got to get Lorraine now. You got to get Lorraine next time she's out.
The problem was that one time at Chiller it was expensive and she didn't really look like her. And I know, look, time is what it is, but it's just hard to do that.
Well, listen,
wasn't she here when we were dealing with Olivia?
Yeah. Listen, next time she's out, I'll split a combo with you because I actually need the graph. I need 2 graphs. I need her in my book still, my Sopranos book, and I need her on my Goodfellas poster that I bought the second I heard Leota died. I bought it on eBay like instantly from someone. Yeah.
So hopefully maybe she'll be the headliner at Eternal. We can hope.
Oh, that might be too big for Eternal, but I would like that.
Also, there's this show, Long Island Tropic Con, which where are these shows coming from? I haven't even heard of it.
Well, here's the deal. Tropicon used to be in a parking lot in Bayshore. I'm not even joking. That was the con. It was like behind the South Shore Mall.
But what is tropical about Long Island? I don't understand what the premise is.
You don't think a parking lot in Bayshore is tropical?
I mean, all kidding aside, it makes the branding of the show strange. When you said Tropicon, I thought you were mispronouncing or something. What are you talking about? But it really is Long Island Tropicon.
Yeah. So anyway, they've moved up from the parking lot in Bayshore. They are now at the Hyatt Regency, which I'm not sure I forget what town it's in. I think it might be. I don't know. It might be Hauppauge or something. I'm not sure. It's somewhere in this this central Suffolk region, and they've added a couple of interesting voice actors. They have Roger Bumpus, who is Squidward on SpongeBob, and I've met him before, but who am I kidding? I'm certainly going to find something else to get signed because I'm a psychopath. Rob Paulson from the Ninja Turtles, among other things, and I already have a figure waiting for him from the last time I saw him. And Carlos, I'm going to butcher this last name, but Carlos, the voice of Rocco Alazakri. Definitely not that, but that's my best attempt.
It is actually in Hauppauge.
Yes, okay, very good. I'm right. I did butcher the name, but I got the town right. But yes, the voice of Rocco. And I mean, none of these guys are super rare, but Carlos has not done anything in these parts in years. Because since I've been getting all these voice actors, I've not had a chance to get him. So I'm excited for that. And it's the same weekend as Monster Mania. as of now, which we'll get into Monster Mania in a few, I don't really have a big need there, but it's Saturday, Sunday. I'm sure I'll find my way to Tropicon one way or the other.
So that's cool. It's cool to see, cons pop up. Really, really big con news. Larry Fishburne was added to Wales Comic-Con. I mean, between just the Matrix alone, also Friday the 13th to get people's, projects from Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street. Why did I say Friday the 13th? Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 projects to get done is just huge. But I mean, Fishburne for the Matrix, it's frustrating when these guys they clearly take huge paydays to go overseas, and we're not going to see them here.
I hope we do. I mean, for me, the role I'd be more excited about would be Boys in the Hood. That is a top 5 all time movie for me. So that's awesome. The Blackish, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. You just like poisoned my brain now with the Friday
totally,
the 13th. Yeah. I hope he does something here, but I know what you're saying. We see, although I think if my memory, I mean, there's been people that start overseas and crossover. He might, but I'm not holding my breath.
I really hope he does. I really hope they can pull him for NYCC. That's my goal. We're going to be talking about Fanatics in a minute, but CM Punk was inexplicably added to Fanatics just a couple days ago at the last possible minute. He was added at such a late date that he still hasn't sold out of his autographs, which for a draw like Punk is crazy, by the way.
Yeah, and with all the new figures and stuff that are coming out on like a daily basis, like my mind is actually a bit blown.
Also, in other news, Monster Mania, for this next show, they're going for a Friday the 13th Part 3 reunion. They're bringing in Derek Mears again. They added Richard Harmon from The 100. So, they already have Sting and Paige from wrestlers added to this show. So, honestly, nothing great for me. But I'm sure, as you pointed out, by the end, they'll have, by Showtime, they'll have something that we're interested in, because Monster Mania, it always manages to find a way.
The Part 3 reunion, I've seen Part 3, obviously. It's a fun movie, but like these reunions, they all jack the price up for the reunion element. And it's a thing of, do I want to drop $600 on an 11x17? And I don't know. That's going to be, I'm going to have to really, see how the rest of the lineups come together and decide if I want to do it. But a lot of these reunions, these bit players start charging top of the line prices, and I end up getting turned off by it. So we'll see.
60-60 no combo. What?
Something like that, yeah. Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. And then finally, our last bit of con news, New York Comic Con is putting its tickets on sale this week. The announcement went out, and once again, not a single guest has been announced yet. Do you think they'll sell out with that with that model?
Oh, without question. Without question. It will sell out. I'm sure. I mean, there were a couple of years there where their lineups were not great, and I was not super confident that it would be great. I am 100% sure they are going to deliver. Like, they will hit several names out of the park. I'm sure I will spend more than I would like to. It's just a thing. That's just what they do lately. They bring big names, and I'm sure it's going to be no different this time around. How about you? Are you confident?
I mean, I bought my ticket, so we'll see what they do. I hope it's something worthwhile. Last year was almost overwhelming for me. So I don't even know if I need that much, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. I hate having to commit without knowing. Especially for that other event that's also going to be in the fall. I hate having to commit so early without having any advanced knowledge. It's really frustrating.
And you just know that other event on those days is going to be some names that are really sick. I know. Really awesome stuff. I already saw at the one event in the city at Tribeca, you had Nas and Slick Rick were premiering something. It's imagine Nas is there.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, actually.
I don't even want to think about it, because Nas is a top one, and a location like that would be perfect for Nas. But whatever. I'm not going to waste time complaining about just complete theory.
Yeah, something that hasn't even happened yet at all.
Yep.
So if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, please email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join the Marked Out Collectibles official marketplace on Facebook. All links are in the show notes on Facebook and Substack. And if you want your event, product, or brand advertised on episodes of Marked Out Radio, please reach out to us today at markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com. Also, please subscribe. If you listen every week and you click that damn link on Facebook, please instead just subscribe. You can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And please leave us
three.
Or all three. Hell, why not? And you can also leave us a rating or a review. You can leave a rating or review or both on Apple Podcast. You can leave a rating on Spotify, or you can give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment on YouTube. All of this is valued. We read it all in the air. We talk about it. It's an important part of growing the community, which we enjoy. So now up for the main topic of the show is Fanatics Fest. So Fanatics Fest is next weekend. Are you pumped?
I am completely pumped. I'm more pumped than Cappuccino was for that promo shot since he was signing for us.
I was like, where the hell are you going with this? So we promised that we would talk about what we bought and then how much we spent. That was a promise that you're now going. For me, it's not that exciting, but for you, it's something that you're going to deliver on. So why don't you go ahead and say it?
Well, the listeners will find out why. I was just thinking of starting my own OnlyFans just to try to recoup some of this money. My grand total, and I'll say the grand total, and then I will make my one little point as to why it's less than that. My grand total for Fanatics Fest, not counting admission, is $2,021.19. But luckily, Seth Rollins was transferred from Sunday to Saturday, and Ira is taking the photo op off my hands. So that will bring me under 2,000, which makes me feel like I'm quite the coupon cutting smart shopper.
I didn't know you ended up going with Seth Rollins because I thought we talked about that you weren't going to do it.
No, you talked me into it. FOMO. I needed it because Seth Rollins might be dressed like Elton John. It was why would I not need that? He didn't do it, and now so and also the other way of just prefacing this, Ira is splitting a lot of the photos with me. Although I already that's a whole nother story. But
wait, is the 2,000 whatever? Does that factor into your calculation, or no? Because you spent it because you got. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's still out the door, but I mean it's not all me. Ira's splitting some of this stuff with me. But yeah.
All right. So what is 2,000 whatever $2,021? What does that buy you? What does it get you?
I'll tell you what it gets me. Here is my schedule. I'll run through my schedule right here. Friday, 1:30 p.m. I have Kevin Costner, who didn't sell out. So I guess all that discussion we were having about is the price too damn high, apparently. Friday, 2:45 p.m. Tracy McGrady. Friday, 3:15 p.m. Dwight Howard, and then 5 p.m. is Dwayne Wade. Ira has deserted me on Tracy McGrady and Dwight Howard. I guess he's only a Hoops fan when it comes to Dwayne Wade. He's splitting Dwayne Wade with me. So I got all that. And then Saturday, I have photo op with Dom Mysterio at 10:30. Kevin Owens photo op 11:30. Rhea Ripley photo op at 12. That was sort of a stupid purchase I made. But when I last met her, she was like blonde without tattoos, and now she's morphed into this character that honestly is, without question, will be on Mount Rushmore of this era. Like, she is huge. So I felt like it was time to have a photo op with Mommy, like the actual character that's like dominating. So I got that. 1:15, I have Allen Iverson. 2:00, I have Karl Anthony Towns, big bodega himself, that hopefully the Knicks don't trade right after I pay the $200 for the photo op. But, we'll see. 2:30 p.m., I have a bit of a conflict. I have Damian Priest and I have Deuce McBride. So I'll have to get Deuce first because I imagine Deuce will sell less than Damian. So that is what $2,000 gets you. If you are ever wondered, how far you can get with $2,000.
I'm actually in the. I was just trying to look at the. I never looked at the times for my stuff. I got to make sure that everything.
And I'm at the triple check. I'm sure they're gonna change these times and then change them again. Yeah. I'm just holding my breath that someone I care about isn't transferred to Saturday. Like that happened with Seth Rollins. Like if all of a sudden like Costner's on Saturday, I'm gonna have to go in on Saturday and then make my family party in the city that night. It's just gonna be a giant pain in the ass. So
I like that they're doing the autographs, the photo ops in big blocks. It's smarter.
Yeah. So, what's your grand total, Sean? Just so I'm not the only one standing here.
Yeah, so my grand total is 598.50. You can round that up to 6. I mean, I got just a lot less than you, so that's just no other way to say. So I got a Cody Rhodes photo op, I got a Damian Priest photo op, and I got a Dominic Mysterio combo for that price.
Listen, I mean, it's all insane, but you spent 600 to my 2,000, so good job, I suppose. It's just, the pricing of this stuff nowadays, as we've said before, and everyone has said, is just kind of crazy. Like $600 for the little list that you just gave is like almost more mind blowing than mine, because with mine is like so many names that like it seems a little more like it's so muddied, but the prices are nuts. It's like a vacation.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm looking at the it's weird. All the other photo op sessions are 2 hours. Cody's photo op session is only an hour. Where the hell is Where is Cody's autograph session? I don't even see it. I wonder if was it early in the day? I just missed it.
10 a.m.
Yeah, so he's been signing autographs all day. It's at 10 to 11:45, and then his photos 2 to 3. That's it. So, so I do have a little bit of a conflict. My Damian photo is 12 to 2. My Dom autograph is 12:15 to 1:15. So I'll be fine. I'll do the photo first. Well, actually, maybe it might be smart to do the autograph first. Yeah, I'll do the autograph first, and then the Cody photo is 2 to 3. So I don't think anything. Dom photo is 10 to 12. I can't believe Dom sold 2 hours worth of photo ops. Because it still didn't sell out. So I don't know what they're doing, but we'll see. So let's talk about this show in general. I mean, it's weird. I at the beginning I said I couldn't get any tickets. I was frustrated. They ended up reopening. They ended up reopening sales multiple times to make it. If you were even remotely on the ball, you could get anything you needed to get. That's just a fact.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anyone out there that's still gonna be whining and complaining that VIPs ate up all the tickets, like, I mean, come on. You must either be using 56K. Your brain must be around 56K, something like there's no excuse. I spent $2,000. I mean, and I'm not a VIP, so like, I actually wish I would have struggled more because I would have spent less. Like, it's you could get anything you wanted. Now it comes down to the execution. Have they set themselves up where they're not going to be refunding people because the talent leaves the photo op booth before it's complete? Did they oversell? If they didn't oversell, I think everything would be perfect. But that remains to be seen.
So let's talk about the lineup in general overall, because we had talked about when some big names were announced, but we haven't really talked about the full lineup. And so what an extraordinary lineup this is. Now, keep in mind, we're only going to talk about some of the highlights. I think on this list I have about between a quarter and a third of the names that we're going to talk about. That's how many people.
And let's also keep in mind that, like, since we started recording, they already announced today that Livy Dunn is added. So I bet you this is not even going to be the full lineup. I bet you they're going to add someone between now and next weekend, and it's
crazy.
I guarantee it. But this is the full lineup as of Saturday. So here we go.
So no, this is not the full. This is just the highlights.
Yes, I said with the highlights.
Yeah. So Friday is Yankee Day, basically. I mean, they have big names like A-Rod. They have a lot of dynasty names. So Bernie Williams, CC Sabathia, Jorge Posada, Tino Martinez, Andy Pettit. Those are major local draws. They brought in Reggie Jackson, so that means a new generation of fans gets to deal with Reggie Jackson's just misery. They brought in Ron Guidry. Like sort of old time Yankee classic name. They brought in Wade Boggs, and there's a whole bunch of, I don't really know the current roster of the Yankees, but there's a whole bunch of current roster guys on there too.
Cody Bellinger, Anthony Volpe, Max Fried. Honestly, just a sick assortment. I'm jealous that the Mets do not have this level of representation. Although if they did, my total would have been grand.
Well, so. The thing is, they want people to actually buy tickets to the show and be able to afford them. Come on, no pop whatsoever for that.
Listen, man.
anyway, so you really, in addition to all those Yankees, you also have names on Friday like Phil Simms, Dwight Howard, Dwayne Wade, the Manning brothers, Manny Ramirez. I mean, Friday is a ridiculously stacked day, in my opinion.
I think Friday is the day.
And I didn't even say Kevin Costner. I forgot to say Kevin Costner on Friday.
I forgot to say Kevin Costner. That says it all about this show. Who fits Kevin Costner? But on this show, it's extremely possible.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's arguable he's not the biggest star on the show. There are a few of these guys, are very well known.
I don't know how sales are. They may have sold 300 and they have 500 to sell. I don't know what they've done. But, I mean, it didn't sell out. He was one I was nervous was going to sell out during the VIP portion because I'm like, oh, this is, huge. He's an A-lister, which he is. I think even you would agree. If you got him, you'd put him in the A-list folder.
Yeah, I would say he's an A-lister. I'm not. Yeah. I'm just not a fan, but I get it, But yes, that Friday is just a ridiculous day. And then since Saturday, I mean, Saturday is the kind of the WWE day. So you have, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, CM Punk, John Cena, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, The Undertaker. There are still others I haven't even mentioned from WWE. There's just a ridiculous. Most of the top of the card is there. When you think about it like that, most of the top of the card is there, right? That's crazy. But that's not even it. You have names like Albert Pujols and Cal Ripken Jr., Dan Marino, Henrik Youngquist, and Jaromir Jagr. These hockey players are freaking legendary names. They got Joe Montana, legendary name, Mike Piazza, Odell Beckham Jr., Mike Richter, a legendary Ranger, and still a whole other lineup of people I haven't mentioned. I mean, I said. Friday was stacked because of all the MLB stuff. But Saturday between WWE and then some of these hockey names are huge, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate. Had I been going on Saturday, I would have gotten a standing Randy upgrade because my Randy is from SummerSlam Access, where it's like across the table, and he's a big enough name. I would have wanted like a perfect shot, but I mean, I'm not coming in on Saturday just for that. And luckily, it's sold out now, so I don't even have that decision to make. Pujols is sick. A lot of names is really sick. Saturday, honestly, is right up there with Friday. I'd give Friday the edge, obviously, since that's the day I'm doing. But Saturday is pretty damn sick.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Sunday, you definitely point out, is lighter. I would say it's kind of a B day. They do have maybe the two biggest WWE names, Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley on Sunday. And I would say the big names then along there are John Elway, Marshawn Lynch, and Mike Schmidt, as far as sort of big high-end names, among many others as well. So, when you hear some of these names, I don't think it's even a question. This is the biggest con lineup in the history of cons.
Without question. I think if you're just a wrestling fan and you don't care about any of these other people we're mentioning, I mean, name me a better wrestling con. It doesn't exist. This is the equivalent of when Lanza did those things in the early 90s where you had Macho Man and Yoko. Everyone was there. Everyone is here. It'll cost you a small fortune to meet everyone, but I mean, they are all there aside from a handful. So it's ridiculous. If you are a fan of more than wrestling, I mean, there's no con that compares. It's just stacked. There's 50 headliners, and it's just ridiculous.
So you have your tab is north of $2,000. Is there anyone you're still tempted to get?
Oh, several. Will I do it? Probably not. You take a John Elway or a Peyton Manning, or Joe Montana. How are you not tempted by them? I mean, granted, I'm not going to be there the Montana day, so that's off the books. For some reason, I'm strangely tempted by Cody Bellinger and Jazz Chisholm of the Yankees. I always enjoy those two players. That's tempting a little bit. Manny Ramirez is tempting. The one that I think is probably the most likely that I would do, and I'm trying to resist the temptation, is Chris Webber of the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, why didn't you? He's a big name.
I guess.
Of a particular era.
He feels, I don't know, he's I think he was higher priced. I'm checking right now. I believe he was higher priced than McGrady, and to me, he's $200 with fees for the photo op. Whereas Tracy McGrady is $185, which I'm talking $15 here. What does it matter?
Right.
But to me, he's not bigger than that. To me, he's the smallest name out of all these I'm mentioning by far. Like Dwight Howard's $81. Right. I don't think Chris Webber's more than double Dwight Howard. Gun to my head, I probably would actually take Dwight Howard over Chris Webber as far as accomplishments. But I know he's done more in the playoffs. Yeah, he was on that Kings team that was pretty badass. That's one I might get. Then, of course, like, Jackson Dart from the Giants, the quarterback they drafted. That's always a little like lottery ticket. If he ends up being the next Eli, you get him now. That's kind of cool. But I don't want to spend another $2,000, so maybe I'll get Weber. I'm gonna try to resist everything else.
Did you go for Iverson again? I don't remember.
Yes, I got Iverson. So Weber would be like the main basketball player I don't have. So I might do Weber because basketball is like my main sport. So
I'm looking at, because I'm only going Sunday, and I'm looking at the list here, and thankfully there's really nothing for me Sunday. I mean, I am tempted for John Elway. I still am. I gotta reach out. I know Greg 2600 had floated the idea of splitting John Elway, but we haven't talked about it in a few months. So I don't know. I don't know where that stands. Part of me, as weird as it sounds, even though I'm not a Philadelphia fan by any stretch of the imagination, but for historical purposes, it's hard to pass on Mike Schmidt when he's around. He was just that good, and he's just that important historically as a player. But I mean, Mike Schmidt's next level. You're talking like his numbers, like numbers this guy insane. It's insane.
He's approaching 600 home runs. I mean, yeah, he's crazy. As a Met fan, I'll acknowledge it. Like, that is a sick dude.
But I'm not gonna spend the money. Maybe I'll reach out. I'll speak to Greg and see if he's still planning to do John Elway, or if he hasn't found a split with someone else. I hate splits so much. I really do. It's so irrational, but they stress me out. Is that's weird, isn't it? For them to stress you out.
Well, listen, I felt it a little bit too with Cusack when I talked you into a split that you never do, and then Cusack wanted to like stand behind you or whatever the hell he was doing. He was like getting on your shoulders.
Yeah, I felt terrible. I felt terrible about it. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. So I don't know, but I'm also not spending that much money on John. It's too much.
Well, he's only 300. I thought he was like in the 4s.
Only that's a lot of money.
Now I'm thinking about a split. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I gotta resist.
Try and maintain some.
We missed this. This is actually pretty big. Jordan Childs, that big Olympic gymnast. She's added to Sunday, and she's only doing an autograph and her book. She's doing like a book signing. That's it. You can buy the book for $32. She's not doing pro ops or anything. So that women's gymnastics team was like, huge.
Where do you see that to buy? Can you buy the book or no?
Yeah, you buy the book right here.
It's to the autographs link.
Yep, it's on the Epic store. And here you are, right back on Epic, as we said last week. Shoddy customer service aside, we're right back with them.
Well, what are you supposed to do? Wait, where? Oh, I see her on there. Oh, autograph plus book. I see it. I'm not gonna lie though. That's not something I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do it. What am I kidding? It's a cattle call. The book. What am I gonna do with it? I'm not gonna read it. That's for sure. So forget that one. So you took. I know one of the things that Fanatics had discussed with regard to this show was the new floor layout. Did you get a look at the new floor plan and
I did.
Any thoughts about it?
Zach Linder DM'd to me the second they dropped, so I looked at them, rather quickly, and honestly, it looks good. I know one of the main complaints was autographs and photo ops being so far apart. Also, there being a 40-40 club like right between the two, so you couldn't, even smoothly walk from point A to point B, or point A to point C, which was more accurate last year. now they as far as the map goes, I mean, you could have some really awful line management or just organization that could still make getting from point A to point B challenging. But on a map level, I think it looks good. It looks streamlined. There's no 40-40 club over there. To me, it looks a lot better, but it's just a question of, do they have enough space to make every line sort of defined? Do they also have enough time, and did they oversell? Like, for people like us, like, we're always going to find our way to the front end of these lines. Like, we're not going to, we're very rarely going to get, like, flat-footed with that. But, I mean, for a lot of people, like families that don't do this, they're going to show up, they're going to get on the line and assume, I bought my ticket, I'm on the line, I'm good. And that was not the case last year. So that, to me, is going to be the big tell. Do they accommodate and, fill all the orders that they have sold?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think they even could comprehend how important it is to have the autograph and photo op areas next to each other. And it seems like just like a self-evident thing. But the people who are getting the autographs and photo ops are the same people. So they need to be able to travel with relative ease between these two areas. And if you can't, it creates log jams in between, which is what happened last time.
And also, I mean, forget the fans. On a con level, they have to transport these talent back and forth for photos and autos. Like, I would hope that they realize doing it for themselves, like, geez, this is a pain. Like, I wish this was closer. So I think this is, this looks good. I feel like, at the very least, I think, can you agree with me that it appears that Fanatics has heard and heated, because you were very worked up after the last episode. I mean, after the last con.
The layout was nonsensical.
Yeah. I feel like they've heard.
You figure out, like, there was no logical flow to where things were. So you're there and, like, normally you're there, you're at a show for a short period of time and you orient yourself and you know which direction's which, and it's it's easy to get to. And even a show like Chiller or a show like Rhode Island, where there's some challenging elements to the layout, you orient yourself relatively quickly to those. I felt like Fanatics was a completely disorienting experience. It was difficult to move around.
100%. So, I mean, at this point, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna drag them for stuff that hasn't happened. So, to assume they can fill all the orders, that they didn't oversell. And looking at the map, I think they heard your complaints and a million other voices that were saying a lot of the same stuff. And it looks like they've tried to sort of fix the problem. So I'm excited. I'm happy that they seem to, like, take the criticism and work on themselves from the criticism. And let's hope it's smooth.
Yeah, what else can you ask for? You ask that they learn from their mistakes and figure out a better way of doing things. So,
I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Yeah, I really hope that they figure it out, and that it's right. The big thing with the lines, they didn't have enough space for the lines, so there was no opportunity. You couldn't even know where you were waiting. Now, for someone like us, again, that works to our advantage, right?
Yeah.
Can make things happen relatively easily when there's
the hyenas are going to survive, but
right.
No.
But it's the families who are standing there trying to follow the rules that get screwed. So it's really it's just important for them to have have staff on the ground who are keeping lines orderly, to have the lines be actually big enough for people to wait in them and not overflow. And the whole thing with trying to facilitate, I remember last year there was, I forget which sports guy, but there was a sports guy who was, he had a 30-minute autograph session. He finished his autographs in like 5 minutes and sat there for the 30 minutes, which is fine. But then the line was building up for someone else in his area, and they wouldn't let them stand. It was just a whole fiasco. So there needs to be like overflow queues and stuff like that.
I know they claim that every single person would have their unique line. That it wouldn't be like trading like lines, which I don't really know how possible that is. I mean, there's a lot of people. How could every single person have their own line? It doesn't seem feasible. But let's see. Let's see how they're able to execute their promises and if they've learned from all of their mistakes. And I just want to throw this out there because we haven't discussed this, but I think we're on the same page. We always drop these episodes on Monday. I think there's a decent chance episode 51 after Fanatics is probably going to drop like Monday night. I don't think we're going to have the chance to do it this weekend coming up because we're going to be at Fanatics on Sunday. Like maybe we can at Sunday night. Well, I guess we'll see. But I mean, I'm sort of expecting we end up recording Monday and then drop late Monday. So if we're late on episode 51, have some mercy on us. We're doing the best we can.
I'd like to try and figure out. It's going to be tough Sunday night, though. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just being realistic. I want to do it Sunday night, but I feel like there's a chance it won't happen. So I want to get the listeners, just have them aware that it may be a Monday night drop, which I don't love Monday night drops, but we're going to do everything we can to get it done before then. But I mean, realistically, set yourself a Monday night drop. I think that's...
Well, yeah, because we want to be able to talk about Fanatics. Otherwise, we could do it on a different day, but it would mean not talking about Fanatics at all. So that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, so we gotta be able to do it after Fanatics. So, maybe we're out of there early enough. Because, I mean, my last photo op on Sunday is 2:30. So, I mean, I could be ready to rock and roll by like 6.
Mine is definitely later than that. Mine is Cody from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, 3. If we got it there, 3 is not bad, but I also have a feeling that it's not going to be the end of Cody at 3 o'clock. So
yeah, so we'll see. But just have that awareness that it might be a late drop next week.
So what? I mean, are you optimistic
for what the podcast drop or the show?
No, the show.
Oh, the shows, I think it's going to be absolutely fine. I'm not worried for myself. I just, hope for the families it's all smooth. I think they learned from it. I don't think any promoter, any convention likes giving back money. Having to refund for photo ops you already sold sucks. Like, why do you want to give money back and take a beating in the process? It makes no sense. So I think they will work it out, and I think it's going to be smooth. I think they're going to take all the money, keep all the money, and people are going to largely get... I'm sure. I mean, that's going to be people that aren't aware of how these things run that are going to get steamrolled. But that's just natural. Like, that's just things that happen. I think anyone with any sort of sense and ability to navigate will get what they paid for. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think it's going to be... I think anyone thinking, oh, they've fixed all their ills is a little bit naive. I think it's going to be a show where you have to be on your toes. Anything with this much... Look, at NYCC, you have to be on your toes. You have to be on your toes. There's any show with this much star power, you gotta really make sure that you get what you pay for. But again, I'm looking forward to it in a big way. And a lot of I'm looking forward to Dom. I'm looking forward to Damien. I'm righting some wrongs by not, by getting Cody, which I hadn't done previously.
You're finishing your story, dude.
In a way, I am. I'm very excited. You made a special 16 by 20 Dominic print to get signed. It looks insane.
1 of 1.
I'm very excited about it. Oh, you didn't get one yourself?
No.
So I'm pretty pumped. I do have my 1 of 1 Dom. I wonder. Dom is. I've actually heard he's a little bit difficult at the table. He stays in character, so I'm curious if he'll give me a quote at something like Fanatics.
Remains to be seen. Let's see.
Yeah. So what do we got coming up? I mean, Fanatics is coming up, right?
Yeah, Fanatics, of course. Today, I had 2 things. I was mulling over which of the 2 things I would do. Initially, I was going to go to a barbecue festival in picturesque Uniondale, New York.
Oh, yeah. What happened with that?
With the rain, I didn't feel like trudging around in the rain. I also, it was hip-hop legend Warren G was going to be there grilling. He was flipping burgers, doing all sorts of things. And it was weird. Like they mentioned that you could get access to like the celebrity chefs, but it wasn't clear if you needed a VIP, if you needed the general admission. Mind you, general admission costs like $60. The VIP was like $170. I would have to have spent $50 on the vinyl from eBay, and I just said, screw it all, I'm not doing it. So I skipped that, and then I considered going into the city for John C. Reilly, who is a notorious prick at Rough Trade. He has some sort of an album, which, I mean, I guess if you want to torture yourself and, you don't have an ice pick handy to drive through your eardrum, you could throw on the John C. Reilly album. The store said in comments that they were like allowing photos, but like allowing photos doesn't necessarily mean John C. Reilly's doing photos. He's so bad. He's worn masks recently to different things, I believe someone said. I didn't feel like standing in the rain. next weekend's crazy. Legitimately, every day I'm doing something. So it's like I'll take the weekend off. I'll mow my lawn. So I got nothing today. You got anything this weekend?
No, I mean it's pouring all weekend, which makes it difficult to really do anything.
If I can do my lawn some point, I'll be very happy. But I'm not even.
It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain today and tomorrow.
Yes, I don't know. I think my lawn's gonna just keep growing, but we'll see.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. So the Fanatics is kind of the only thing of note. We're still. Everyone needs to do us a favor and pray to the combo gods that Steel City, gets his act together and gives us a Jurassic Park reunion. I want Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, and Sam Neill. That's what I want. That's what I'm asking for. I'll settle for one of the three, but I really would like all of the three. And if you really want, I would also want the lawyer. The lawyer's getting old now, but I want that lawyer too who gets eaten by the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I don't know, dude. I think they might be. I think the Jurassic Park reunion has gone the way of the Velociraptor.
No. We're not going to do that. We're right now. We're appealing to the combo gods. That's what we're doing. Okay. We're not gonna be a wet blanket. All right. This is also, what we want.
Let the record show. I think we're going to be carpooling to the old scenic Steel City with Greg 2600. So this is coming together. We should have some content coming from that.
We'll have to.
We got to talk off air, but I wonder if with 3 people doing this trip, if we could do it in one day back and forth, or if that's just suicidal, even with 3.
I mean, I don't know how though. It's the drive. You have to budget at least 6 hours for the drive, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how that works. I
guess leaving driving 6 hours and through darkness, going to a con, leaving a con, eating, and then driving 6 more hours. I guess if you had 40,
but it's not that because if we drop the cars off with Greg, now we're looking at I still have another hour home from him. You have another 2 hours from that.
Yeah,
then you're getting home potentially 4 a.m, something like. I don't know. That it's I don't know. I don't like it. For me, what are you gaining? It's a nominal amount of money, and it's a lot of risk to drive like that. I don't know. I don't love the idea.
Listen, we're making towns, brother. Making towns.
Yeah, I'm at an age now. The amount of risk I want to put out there is minimal, especially with driving and stuff.
I think you're right. I think it's still probably a stay over destination, but
yeah, I don't love the idea of even not for nothing, but I've driven enough with you to watch you almost fall asleep during driving or fall asleep while we're driving, and it's like I'm not playing that. I'm not going to take that. No, due respect, I'm not taking the chance of driving into a mountain.
When I was dreaming about the Sasquatches crossing the road after Monster Mania.
Yeah.
I thought I was fighting back the consciousness, but you said I slept the entire drive basically.
Completely out. not a sign of life to be found. Completely out. So yeah, so that's my view on this, but obviously we can discuss. Of course, we're still promoting WrestleCon. We have our guests, right? For Friday, we have Diamond Virago. We have why can't I think of it? Tiara James. We have Emily J. We have an announcement coming after the break for Friday and for Saturday. We have our WWE ID guys, Swipe Right in the morning, and the Strong Legacy and Heartbreak Jackson Drake in the afternoon. Anything else upcoming this summer? I mean, we agree we're gonna hit Eternal, and we're probably gonna hit Tropic, right?
Yeah, I mean, we got to put Monster Mania on the list. I mean, when don't we? It's rare that we don't.
What I'm saying. I'm not committing to Monster Mania yet because I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't seen anything
that's fair
is getting me there yet.
But yeah, definitely.
But just for the purposes of if people want to make deals or buy and sell or whatever, we're going to be at Eternal. We're going to be at Tropic, pretty much for sure.
Although if Monster Mania gets into our plans, that could end up being a Sunday Tropicon or maybe a Sunday Monster Mania.
Tropic is August 16, 17. That's fine for me. I'm good with that. July
Monster Mania
12th.
is
I
the
could
same
do July 12th at Eternal. Yeah, I can. So.
And Monster Mania would have to be a Saturday or a Sunday for me because I'd be losing too much money missing Friday to go to the con. Unfortunately, I like the Fridays, but the
No, I mean I love Fridays. I love them.
I know, but I can't, unfortunately.
Listen, since when did you become motivated by money? No. So if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.mark.collectibles or our eBay store at mark.collectibles. To contact us for any reason at all, please email mark.collectibles@gmail.com or join the Mark.Collectibles official marketplace on Facebook. So here's what we can announce as far as signings coming up. We will have for August, courtesy of our friends at High Spots, we do have Will Ospreay, a signing with Will Ospreay. Is that up on the website yet?
It's up. I haven't put the prints up, but I'm designing them. I have a couple that are great, and I'll be dropping those probably by the time this episode airs.
And we have Kazuchika Okada as well. Same deal. What about the prints for that? Were those up yet?
I am in the process of both. I'm going to drop, I think, 3 prints each for now, and if I come up with more before the show, I'll just add more. But I'm going to have 3 prints of each guy. I
got to take a look and see because I'm like tempted to do 16 by 20s for some of these guys. I'm contemplating some kind of 16 by 20 for the ID guys as well. I gotta think about it. I gotta kind of wrap my brain around it. We still have time. We have our WrestleCon lineup. I just mentioned it before the break. We have another spot. Somehow, this is wild to me. Somehow we went from, we're shifting away from doing tables at cons. And now we have a table at WrestleCon, and it was originally going to be 4 guests, and then it morphed to 8 guests. And now we have 9 guests at WrestleCon. So we are
9 guests.
We are happy to announce that our final guests for you announced this. You sealed the deal.
I did. I sealed the deal, much like Stan Hansen did for Ira. We will be joined by the hottest up and coming tag team in independent wrestling, the Shooter Boys. These guys, Anthony and Aaron, are products of Creative Pro, Brian Myers. They are awesome. They are like amateur wrestling style, like, they have like a team angle type of vibe to them. Both of them can talk. They have good height. They will fill out as they get older. As I said, we sealed it at the WWE ID show because one of the dudes were there, and I was talking to them, and I'll tell you what I told them. I said, you guys have next. And I also threw in saying, for whatever the hell my opinion is worth. Because, I mean, typically social studies teacher is not really a great job description of someone that scouts professional wrestling talent. But I think between you and I think the proof is in the pudding. A lot of these people we've identified ourselves and worked with. I mean, we have a couple that are, not doing a hell of a lot. But, I mean, the vast majority are onward and upward from where we first encountered them. And I think these 2 are going to be on an ID list coming up. Are they on the next ID list? I don't know about that, but they will be ID'd at some point. They will be in NXT. They will be in Evolve. They will be anywhere you expect them to be. They will be. They are just future stars, and that's what we do. If you're looking to get classic superstar figures signed, we're probably not your guys. If you want to get stock on the upcoming rising blue chip stocks, you come to us. And these guys, we are confident to put in our stable of just people that you should have in your collection. And we're very excited.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, they're kids. Were they 19 years old, 18, yep. 19 years old? They're kids. And so, it's always exciting to see someone who is just starting out and already kind of showing you, oh, damn, this is the future in 5 years, So, look, one of the things I love to show off is I have photo ops with like Kenny Omega and Tyler Black and Kevin Owens when they're basically kids. They're in their early 20s. They're young, when they were just starting out. Bryan Danielson, same thing. And it's a very cool thing to identify people early who you know are going to make it, and then when you can follow the progress of their career. That's fun. So we're going to have them out to WrestleCon, have them network around and talk to some people, and hopefully some fans will meet them now, recognizing the potential they have for the future.
Yeah, it's very cool, and this business model is a lot of fun for me. So it's rewarding, and I'm enjoying it.
What else do we have? So we announced the Shooter Boys. There you go. So also before I feel like we're putting the cart before the horse, because before WrestleCon, we're also going to be we got to drag the table out to PWJ Pro Wrestling Junkie Damaged Goods 2, July 27th.
Yes.
My whole summer is booked. It's actually kind of crazy, but we're going to be out in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey.
At the Mecca.
A beautiful vacation spot. Definitely somewhere that I can't even sell it that way. It's fine out there, but but honestly, there's a lot of great names going to be on that show. Sean Legacy, Cappuccino Jones, Zeta Steel, Marcus Mathers. No, I'm sorry, Sean. I said it wrong. Legacy's not going to be there. Cappuccino. I said that wrong. Those are. I gotta take that off that list. That's not right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's for that. That was messed up. My mistake. My apologies.
Yeah. No breaking news does.
Yeah. Yes. PWJ, we got Zeta Steel, Marcus Mathers, Jackson Drake, Smiley Kylie Ray, Emily J will all be at PWJ. Get your orders in for that stuff now. The Zeta Steel stuff. I mean, I can tell you now, Zeta is a tough cookie. She's gonna be a tough one as she starts moving up the ranks.
I don't think you're getting her in an airport. She doesn't even set up gimmick tables. She clearly does not have any interest. Zeta's doing her thing, so I mean, absolutely get the stuff done. Mathers is debuting on Evolve. He may have actually already debuted. I'm just a few weeks behind. I got to catch up. I've been so busy. But once he hits Evolve now, Marcus Mathers is going to blow up. Jackson Drake, literally, listen, on a weekly basis, he's doing so much. I'm getting new photos to work with on a weekly basis. I'm going to do a whole new drop very soon with all new prints. Between PWJ and WrestleCon, we are going to have a ton of new Jackson Drake stuff coming. Smiley Kylie Ray is awesome. We have some great prints. And Emily J, between PWJ and WrestleCon, we got a lot of opportunities. Most of these guys and gals are cool. If you want personalizations and inscriptions, I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. Get those orders in. They're all on the website. Any questions, hit us up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been honestly it's weird because this show, we started out talking about the future, right? All these people in NYWC, what a cool thing. And now this weekend upcoming, we're going to celebrate basically the past at Fanatics Fest. All these legends. So it's kind of a bookend of sorts to this whole idea.
Maybe also a bit of the present. I mean, let's not push Cody out the pasture just yet. And
you know what I mean. I mean, when we're talking about the whole theme of the show really is celebrating all these monster names. Yeah,
I mean, and just look at the pricing. Look at our pricing on Jackson Drake, and then imagine what Jackson Drake's pricing is going to be at 2028 Fanatics Fest, and he will be there without question. So I mean,
when you get a chance to meet Jackson, Jackson is the nicest kid. He has a funny energy to him that is just very, 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 very positive. Of all of these guys, I really have no doubt in my mind that I understand why they put the belt on him for Evolve. I understand it. He's extremely, extremely likable. There's no other way to say. He plays a heel. He's even it's kind of like with a wink, and he's just a very, very likable. He's a very likable kid. And an insane wrestler, honestly, already an insane wrestler.
Yeah. Only thing I'll say about reaction, because this was kind of funny to me. After the Jackson Drake Aaron Rourke match, I looked at sitting 20 feet behind us was Gabe Sapolsky watching the show. And after Jackson and Aaron's match, I looked back and Gabe was ear to ear, smiling. He was, Jackson and, these guys are awesome. Jackson is absolutely going to be a star. So
there's just no doubt. There's no doubt. There's no doubt when you see how he understands the little things. He does all the little things, not some of the little things, all of the little things at the same time. He's just doing everything. There's so much that he's doing and thinking about. Just watching him rehearse promos. He's a fascinating character to observe, and to do all this when he's like 21, 22-year-old, whatever how old he is, kid.
Yeah.
It's you can see like the sky is the limit. He's a very, very hardworking person.
And here's the deal. In my day-to-day life, I'm not a gambler. I'll watch coworkers make these bets on different parlays and stuff, and it's fun. I understand the appeal, but I don't gamble. And we've dumped collectively a lot of money into Jackson at this point, with more to come. That's not a gamble. I tell you that with 100% certainty. You can this is not a sales pitch. You can strap me up to a polygraph. My heart is not going to go up at all. This is an investment. I'm telling you to invest your money in Jackson Drake because I'm investing my money in Jackson Drake and Swipe Right and all these dudes. This is not a gamble. This is an investment. These are going to be future stars without question.
I mean, the way yes. I mean, I fully believe it. I fully support it. I'm fully behind it. It's just true. We talked about it before. We do have a Mike Tyson signing coming up in November. Get your orders in. You want to mail stuff in. You want to get some prints. We have all kinds of stuff available. Are you getting any stuff for Iron Mike done personally?
Definitely. I'm going to do a WrestleMania print because I mean you can still get Sean and Austin, so I'll do that. I'm going to do a glove because, I mean, that's one of those things. I think I could even get my wife to, like, be on board if I put it in, like, a place of, like, you know, actual, like prominence in the house where that's just kind of, like, just unquestionably cool. And, I don't know, probably something else. As usual, I'll probably spend more money than we make profit-wise personally on getting my own stuff signed. That's just how I roll, unfortunately. How about you?
The problem is I have a few Tyson pieces, you know. I have a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out print signed. I have of course he's on my WrestleMania 14 jacket, which is, you know, one of those like showpiece kind of things. I got to see maybe one it depends what you know, financially what I'll work it out to be, but I'll figure that out. I'm debating it. The door is not closed. Let's put it like that. To that possibility, I just got to see. You know,
I'll predict you want some 16x20.
I might want to get a 16x20. I might, but just getting I don't know exactly. It would have to be the exact right image that was, you know, that tickled a particular, you know, fancy more or less. I'd have to think about it, but we'll see. So we're gonna do the photo op game. The photo op Friday again this week.
We are. We're gonna do the fan report Friday again, and obviously for some people that you know, like Vinny and the other guys and Zach, they do these super detailed, great reports. Those anyone that wants to do a report like that, by all means, we love receiving them. You just post those up whenever you want, and they go viral, literally. But for people that want to just drop a couple photos and give a little like sentence or two, the little fan report Friday is perfect for that. And yeah, photo op Friday is a lot of fun. And like you said,
if you want your Fanatics stuff talked about next week, you got to make sure you do your Friday stuff on Friday, your Saturday stuff Saturday, and Sunday stuff. You know, we'll try and get to the show recording it Sunday night, but we'll see. So it's possible that you know, if you send us something from Fanatics on Sunday, that we'll still manage to get it on there. But it really depends on how we can structure the weekend.
And if we miss anything that it's not enough time, we'll just run the extra Fanatic reports the following week for episode. I
mean, I'm very confident that's what's going to end up happening anyway.
Yeah, which is all good. You know, don't feel like, oh, I missed the deadline, I'm not going to share it. Like, we will share it out. It'll be awesome. So just by all means, just get us whatever you want to share.
All right, that sounds good. So for markedout.com, Marked Out Radio, and Marked Out Collectibles, I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And we will see you at Fanatics Fest.